Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Whiskey and Wisdom After Dark on a Wednesday. Thank you guys for being here. We got Donnie in Tennessee, Russell and J Love here in the great state of Texas. Gentlemen, welcome. Cheers to everybody here. Uh, I'm still drinking on my Johnny Walker Black Label. Russell, what are you doing? What are you drinking over there, man?
We're doing a little Miller Lite tonight. No chiladas.
You're
this evening.
rehydrating, huh?
Yeah, I'm rehydrating.
I gotcha. J
Your
Love.
kid are probably all fucked up from them damn chiladas.
I know.
But I'm sipping on a little Hogs 3 straight whiskey and, of course, chasing it down with a Guinness Extra Stout. So, cheers.
Wow. Cheers. Cheers to that Guinness. Donnie, what do you got going on over there?
I am still riding the Buffalo right now. I am Buffalo traced up and ready to go.
Nice. Well, anybody got any what the fuck moments that happened this week?
I mean,
Like,
if you want to get a little
nothing that we need to go 30 minutes into. Just,
if you want to get a little political, the whole State of the Union was a what the fuck moment, but that was just kind of all over the place.
We'll get into the State of the Union. That was I'm talking more of a what the fuck moment. Like to you.
What the fuck moment?
Anybody got one?
LeBron James is the best player in the world, according to him.
Well, you know what?
I did see that.
Congratulations to him for breaking that record. I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later. As far as for someone with zero morals, zero character, zero empathy, zero professionalism. Yeah, that guy's definitely the fucking GOAT.
So it was funny, Donnie. It's funny you brought that up because, I'm looking. The sound was off, and I saw a social media clip of him with his hands on his head and on his knees. And I'm like, "Fuck! Did he get fouled again?" Like I didn't know I thought he got fouled and he was crying. I didn't know, and then I saw, and so I mean, congratulations, dude. New day and age. It's a different style of ball, but. Yeah, that was cool. Russ, you got a what the fuck moment, bro?
Yeah, I saw earlier this week. I think I showed you the video of the couple of the members of the squad in Congress this week. You had AOC, you had Rashida Tlaib, and all those other idiots yelling and screaming about women of color because they're taking a Muslim who basically is a traitor to the United States off of an intelligence committee, and just the fit and how childish they behave. I think I showed you that clip. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. The antics and the acting that goes on in our Congress it's pretty what the fuck that these people are elected by anybody. So that was my what the fuck moment. It's just like, really, this is what we've resorted to.
J Love, you got a what the fuck moment you want to share?
Sure. I mean, mine's more local. I'm pretty sure it could probably be addressed across the United States. But as far as in Austin, Texas, at the University of Texas, they are in an uproar over possible concealed carry and the whole the right to carry on campus, this, that, and the other, and it's just listening to some of the sound bites from some of the individuals that they've interviewed. And of course, they pick the dumbest of the dumb motherfuckers to interview. And every one of them is like, I'm so scared because now it's the wild, wild west out here. And I fear for my life. And it absolutely makes no sense. Okay, one, if it's the wild, wild west, I mean, is everybody just open carrying? Because I don't see that happening. I mean, I would bet my life that the individuals that they interviewed and say, this individual said, but I saw it. It's the wild, wild west out here. 1 in 10,000 maybe is who he or she, it, whatever they fucking define themselves.
I'll tell you what, if they want to call it the Wild Wild West, then they better bring back the saloon so I could play poker, and the whorehouse is right across the street from them. Because if not, let's not call it the Wild Wild West.
It's not just that. It's just the simple fact that you know, the way that they're going about it, and they're freaking out. I personally, if I was a student back in college, I would be you know, gung ho for those that want to carry. I would much rather be, you know, if a situation did arise and something happened, I would much rather be an individual, you know, that individual who was next to someone who was packing something,
Yeah.
as opposed to just cowering and
Hey, hold on to that thought, J Love. I'm going to come right back to it because I've got an idea that hit me yesterday. So I'm going to come right back to that.
Is that what you got your thinking cap on?
Huh? Yeah. By the way, guys, you guys are really you're really pushing my button here. Finally got my poster. I finally got my poster up. I got my other Daisy Duke poster up. But remember, Jesus is always watching. Here's my what the fuck moment. So you guys know I've been doing that the ice submersion every morning. You know, the water's about 35 degrees or whatever. Well, this weekend, my wife went in there. And she jumped in, and I called, all right, that's 3 minutes. She goes, no. All right, that's 5 minutes. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone. At 7 minutes, she started crying. I'm like, let's go. She goes, no. At 8.5, she goes, help me up. She went inside. She was in tears. 8.5 minutes in 35-degree water. And it was one of those defeat your inner bitch, defeat your mind. It's just an emotion. How far can you go? It was pretty fucking amazing. That was my what the fuck moment. So now, before we get into anything else, I do want to tell everybody that's listening. I just got my book in that I ordered. So Calvin Schiraldi is a good friend of ours. Pitched for the Boston Red Sox, and this is his biography. It's called The Arena by Calvin Schiraldi. It's out now. He's the one that threw the ball that got hit between Bill Buckner's legs. He was the pitcher of record. Those 2 days changed his life completely. I mean, just completely. And so he finally did his own biography. I've yet to start it. I know the story. I've talked to him enough, played golf with him and stuff. But if you have a chance, go look it up and buy it. It's called The Arena by Calvin Schiraldi. A lot of us have played sports, but none of us have been in the arena. Not like that. Not like at the highest level. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shout out to Calvin. Thank you for writing that book, Calvin. And I hope everybody gets to read it. J Love, going back to what you said, dude, I can say the same thing. I can say the same thing, bro. Like right now, yeah. But if I was 19, 20 years old, I don't know that I would have this kind of state of mind because I was born in a different day and age. Like these kids, these people, they're raised different. They think different. It's just something that I don't think we can defeat. And I think it's really futile for us to try.
I think it can be defeated. I really think that it can be defeated. I really think that somewhere along the lines we fucked up as a society, and we began to just completely pussify the upcoming generations. I remember being 18 and 19 in situations. I remember in middle school seeing a teacher get stabbed to death. Fast forward to 9th grade, 2 individuals going at it in civics class, back and forth talking shit. One pulls out a revolver, shoots the other kid in the neck. And this was in 87, 88. So it's nothing new. It really isn't. It's more in your face now because everyone is just fixated and they have this electronic device and everything is within reach. I honestly think, man, I mean, I look at it as if I was on that campus, I would be more than happy to fucking blow a few rounds down range if I needed to. And if I had to, if it came to that and I had to stop the threat and it meant my life over hundreds of others, by all means, take it out, motherfucker. If that's what, if you feel froggy enough, then leap. That's all. And
So in that, hold on to that thought, because here in town, let's bring it to town, J-Love. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but my stepboy, he goes to the middle school here. He's in the 7th grade. He wasn't there. He didn't see it, but there was a fight and a kid pulled out a gun, and then the kid got arrested. 7th grader, and the kid got arrested and all that stuff. Right? Okay. It's a closed campus. I'm like, where were these teachers? Where was security? Where were these people when this kid, this campus here, and Donnie, it's right here next to the house, dude. You've been here to the house. It's right here next to the house.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't, and then if there's a fight, everybody knows about it. Like, where were the teachers? Where were the principals? where what was going on? The gun never went off. The fight never happened. The kid just pulled out a gun. And my stepson was telling us really nonchalantly, like, yeah, it happened, whatever. You're not even scared.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck?
And the fact of the matter, you can even go back to even further than that. Where in the fuck were his parents or parent? I mean, we don't know the situation. 99 times out of 100, any sort of situation like this, it always comes from a victim of a broken home or a Democrat, either way. But
Donnie, let me ask you. I think it's a futile attempt. I think this is one of those where I'm not going to put one of my fucks in trying to change this. Russell, I'm going to ask you the same thing. I'm not going to put one of my fucks in trying to change these millennials to think, a boy's a boy, a girl's a girl. I'm not victimizing you for my beliefs and all this other shit. What, J-Love thinks that yeah, we can definitely make a change because he believes that we did something to do that. What do you think, Donnie?
I think it will come back around. I think it is the more and more that we see the pushback from different things, the more it'll get talked about as this is just wrong. Like we're putting 5, 7, 9-year-old kids on prepubescent drugs, and what are we doing? Like you're not going to let them vote until they are 18, can't drink till they're 21, but they can get their tits cut off at 12. Like what? They're not responsible enough. So I think at some point you'll see the kowtow to the far left stop. And it's going to take some pushback. It will, but it's coming. I'm seeing more and more of it every day. People are
more like the natural order, the natural order of things.
People in the middle are now getting that. What? Like, we're really going to do this? So I don't know. Russell,
what do you think? What do you think? You think we can fix this problem, or do you?
Well, I think that's a double-edged sword there. I think to what Donnie was saying, yes, culturally there'll be a correction in the order of things because a lot of people that aren't paying attention are starting to pay attention and waking up. But I also think that this generation that has been raised the way that they've been raised, it's they're too far gone. It's just like when we were talking today about one of our coworkers, and he's very far left, and every time I speak to him, no matter what the conversation is, he turns it into somehow bash Donald Trump. He's brainwashed, right? So you can't change certain people's minds. You can't change. I think you can help incrementally with your younger family members and friends. And I think culturally, some of this we're going to start getting some pushback, but ultimately, I don't think we can completely weed it out because let's be honest, that side is winning right now because they have all the exposure. And common sense at some point you would think would have to prevail, but
Right.
I don't know at this point.
I got you. Go ahead, Jayla. Finish off this topic for us.
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, everyone's in an uproar, and then if everyone's always talking about banning guns and this, that, and the other, and it's not a gun, whether it be a handgun, a revolver, a shotgun, semi-automatic rifle, whatever the case may be. It's a fucking tool, just like a hammer, just like a power drill, like anything else. It takes human inertia and energy in order to operate said piece of equipment. It's not going to go off on its own. So, I mean, it's not its fault. It's the individual. And it goes even further back than even, dealing with mental health on a more deeper level. It goes even further than that. I've always been a firm believer in it. It begins at home and at the pulpit. I mean, you've got to teach your children from the beginning right and wrong.
Yeah.
Now, you're not going to be able to walk with them every step of their fucking life, but you have to set fucking path stones down in order for them to make their own path, but at least follow the same direction. Eventually, he or she is going to make his or her decision, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, but they have to live with that decision and have to stand by their own convictions. And
this is so going back to what Donnie said, because I do want to talk about this floating piñata that happened this week. Donnie mentioned, sooner or later, and I believe it, Donnie, and I don't know how many of you guys have started seeing these TikToks, these LGBTQIA people coming on there going, no, this isn't right. This isn't what we are about. Like, they're having pushback from their own community now. I don't know if y'all have seen that or not, but they are having pushback from their own community, and I applaud them. I applaud that. Again, we're not here. This isn't anything about hate. You do you. Just don't push it. We're not here to cause violence or whatever, but we are seeing it, Donnie. I appreciate you saying that, because we are seeing that pushback. So this piñata, man, I never got a chance to see it or swing at it. But I think, if I'm wrong, correct me, but the left is really proud because finally, after it went across the United States, Biden finally shot it down. And so now he's a hero, right?
Right.
Russ, let's start with you. I never start with you. Let's start with you. What do you think about this floating piñata?
Well, to your point, they apparently they knew about this thing 5 days prior to it breaking in the news, to the point where it flew in through Western Canada, through Montana. So basically, you shoot it down after it retrieves all the data that it was searching for. But I have another theory to that, and part of me thinks this wasn't even anything from China. Part of me thinks this is something to distract us from something else.
Distraction.
It's a sleight of hand. I really find it hard to believe that they would let something, even Biden or our national security people would let a foreign surveillance intelligence device float over the continental United States for a week. I think part of me is thinking this might have been a distraction, a sleight of hand. Now, to what that sleight of hand is, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but with China, they've turned a lot of their industry, their private industry, they're turned it industrial for the war machine. I think we're gearing up for a pretty big conflict. And if that was a surveillance balloon from China, that tells you everything you need to know. But part of me thinks it was from China. Part of me thinks it's a distraction from something that we don't know about. So
Donnie,
that's what
do you think? Donnie, what do you think about this thing?
A few different things on that. Like, one, I don't think I heard the government say that they saw it crossing Canada. I don't believe it. A plane was the first person that spotted it, a commercial airline. because he was coming in and almost hit it. It was only over America for 4 days. In fact, I thought I would wake up and it would be close to Tennessee. And I remember hearing helicopters from the Air Force Base, which we hear from time to time, but they sounded like they were going really slow. And then they put out a press like 2 days later that yes, they were flying maneuvers to cover the balloon as it crossed at like 3 a.m. here, and wake up the next morning, it's in North Carolina. So that's one. It came through a lot faster than a lot of people understand. Two, I do understand why they shot it down over the ocean, so that one, it's huge. I mean, these things are massive. And they didn't want that falling on somebody's house, and I get that part. Three, they have blatantly lied and said that they've had this happen so many times before, 3 times under Trump's administration. Everybody in Trump's administration, including the FBI, the CIA, and the DOD, all said no, that didn't happen. But they're still lying about it. They're like, no, it happened. But the only data that it can get, and I'm not terribly worried about any pictures it gets, the path that they chose was more along the lines of a radioactive gathering data, like from the air samples. So it went over a few different silos. It went over 2 nuclear facilities, including Oak Ridge, which is in Knoxville, or right outside of Knoxville. So, I mean, the path that it had was clearly over radioactive sites. And the only reason I can think that is they had some sort of sensor that could measure in the air. Maybe it's to get leakage or how much production's going. But yeah, I mean, China's gearing up. I don't have any doubt they're not going to invade us. They don't want to come over here. They understand that that's just a mistake. But they do want to take Taiwan back, and they want to make sure that they can hold it. So if they're gearing up for anything, that's what they're gearing up for. They do understand, like, the best war that they could get into with us would be a financial war. Like, they can't.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. We export them 61% of their food. We get in a war, they don't eat.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like any other countries can feed them, because they
God,
take
there's
up
a
so
joke
much
right there.
food.
Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, they take up so much food. We are the #1 world exporter for food. Like, almost all the beef comes from here, all the pork, all the
rice. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, the rice
Hey,
comes from over there.
I'm
But
just
I mean,
kidding.
they
Hey,
can't
J-Love, what do
live
you
on rice alone.
J-Love, what do you think about this piñata that you saw out there?
I mean,
Because I'm fixing to tell you what I think, and this is y'all's fault that I think this. Go ahead, J-Love.
Okay. Oh, I was waiting for you. It's it's fucking stupid. But then what a lot of people aren't disclosing or anything is supposedly said balloons plural. Once they were shot down, they released a shit ton of like graphene. What the fuck is it? Graphene oxide or something like that. And graphene oxide is extremely harmful to animals. And kidney injury, if not failure, to animals, and like lung granuloma and shit like that. Who's to say that they aren't trying to take out our food supply? I mean, it's a conspiracy theory, quote unquote, but it's not that far fetched. I mean, take for instance, just last week, huge farm in New Hampshire, chicken farm, over 150,000 chickens suddenly go up in flames. No, sorry, that's by design. That just doesn't happen overnight. Shit like that just doesn't happen overnight. And there are bigger things coming, like Donnie said. I think that they definitely don't want to invade us, but they would definitely do us, from a financial standpoint, in regards to a war type situation, a tech type situation. They would fucking murder us in those respects. But it's going to be interesting the next few months. Take, for instance, February 12th, which is, there's supposed to be some huge fucking world event take place. And it ain't going to be the Super Bowl. But if and when something does happen on February 12th, it ain't gonna be reported. You're gonna have to find that shit on fucking.
No,
the Guardian.
Y2K, it wasn't reported either. Something had to have happened then, and it wasn't reported. But I'm with you. You guys have. So yesterday I geeked out. I think I told Russell this. Yesterday I've changed my days off to Tuesdays, and so I know I told you I was watching all those podcasts and documentaries, and I mean I went from Area 51 to aliens to UFOs to Bob Lazar to S4 to the Bermuda Triangle to the pyramids to all kinds of stuff. I mean, I was awake till about 3 a.m. Just I was so enthralled
right.
with all this stuff, right? I still, and I'm going to say this, I still don't believe in it, but I want to so bad. I want to so bad that I'm looking into it. That balloon thing, I don't know what it is, but I'm with you guys. Something that they let that happen for some reason. Something that's like something happened, or they put something in motion to do that. Now I'm going to say this, and I want you guys to answer. I'm going to go to all three of y'all and do this because you talked about, well, they can go in here and do something to our food supply, and they can do this to us, and they can do that to it. I call bullshit. I think we got all these motherfuckers by the balls, and they can't do shit without us knowing. If something like that happens, we know about it, and we want that to happen. Just like the COVID thing. We knew it. We wanted that shit to happen. Something's going to go on. I believe that, but I also believe we're close, really close. We're really close to that. What do we call it, Donnie? Last time we were here, the whole clean when they did the pyramids and they had all this stuff that they knew how to do all this stuff, and then they just cleaned it out, like just something happened.
Armageddon.
Yeah, global reset.
Basically.
Yeah, it's a global reset. That's exactly right. I think we're close to a global reset, if you ask me, with everything that's going on. Donnie?
No, I think it's close. I don't know that it is.
Well, first of all, what do you think about my thing about I think they're not going to do shit to us. They can't do shit to us unless we want them to. We're that strong.
I think if anything, it'll be coordinated by the military industrial revolution. Like they're the only ones that really control war. The big thing that I think will happen is more of an awakening. I don't know if it's a global reset, but there's a lot of back chatter on a lot of different channels on, how Twitter is exposed, how much big tech has in it. And sooner or later, that's going to reach mainstream and people will start waking up. I mean, they're hopefully, and they realize that we're kind of all being controlled. I mean, so take back your government, term limits, no trading stocks, and then the government is more effective, banish the IRS, go to a flat tax or a national sales tax. Literally you save trillions of dollars a year doing that. And you cut your government from the largest company to one of the smallest companies. So it's a very much a Ross Perot driven thing that he had these same ideas in the 80s and it was just, before his time. But I don't know that a global reset's coming. That said, hey, this summer we're supposed to go through the asteroid belt that's hit us, every 7,000-8,000 years we get popped pretty hard. So that's coming in July. So we'll see.
Russell, let's go to you.
As far as a global reset, I don't know. I think that I think we've already begun to see the beginning of World War III. I think with what's going on in Ukraine, I think with when Taiwan is invaded by China, with obviously, again, let's just say it was a Chinese surveillance balloon. If they really wanted to attack us and hit us hard and not hit our financial sector and not hit us with a biological weapon or a nuclear weapon, what's to say they couldn't put an EMP on something like that and shut down our electrical grid for a year? You want to talk about crippling a country?
Yeah.
That was my first thought, and a lot of people don't realize how dangerous an EMP is. I mean, you're especially when we were just talking about earlier this generation. Yeah, probably guys like us will figure out a way to be fine without electricity for a while. But think about all these helpless millennials that run around that can't even put gas in their car. So you shut down the whole electrical grid for a year, and imagine the amount of mass casualties. Imagine the chaos. Imagine the vulnerability. And that was my first thought. I was like, what if they had an EMP in that balloon? You know, we would be fucked, completely fucked. So to your point, Coach, could we are we the most dominant military superpower in the world? Absolutely. But we're only as dominant as our weakest link, and look who we have as our president right now. So I think we're very vulnerable.
J-Love, I saw that look on your face. Go ahead and
Well,
start there.
In regards to what Russell just said in regards to the military, we aren't strong and as powerful as we once were. It all goes like with exactly what he just said. I mean, it goes with leadership, and but and about the whole EMP thing also, if and when there is going to be a third world war, it's going to be